Alright, so I'm gonna remove the clutch basket here. So I actually already loosened up the two bolts here that has this little splash cover. So you need to remove those two bolts. Even though you take these two bolts off down here for the splash cover. Oops. So there's one bolt there. There's another bolt on this side. So once you remove these two, you can't take the splash cover off because the splash cover is kind of, because of the shape, it's kind of stuck in with the clutch basket. So not much you could do there. So you just have to kind of leave it like that, like so. And there's also some oil in here, so be mindful of that because because of the shape, it's gonna retain some oil. So when it comes off, it's gonna spill a little bit of oil, so watch out for that. So now with this basket, so the basket here, you have to be very mindful of this basket because it's, this piece right here, it's cast, so it's not very strong and it could break off very easily. And a lot of people, break this off time and time again, because when you take this off, these three off, you have to take them off a little bit at a time, so that way the pressure stays the same. If you just take off one, then the other, all the pressure is put on one side, and it's gonna basically crack, like so. Whichever side that still has the bolt, it's gonna crack right off. So I don't. You use impact for this, but impact's kind of dangerous because the impact will release this out too far. So be mindful of that. So I'm actually gonna be doing this with the wrench instead, so that way I only spin this thing like maybe a quarter of a spin at a time. So that way I don't lose my. Oh, you know what? My thing's not holding here because it's spinning on the wrong direction. My gear mesh here is not holding because this basket's spinning counterclockwise. And it actually spins this loose, so I actually have to put this thing from the bottom side, so that way it doesn't spin on me, like so. So let me do that. Put on the bottom side. Hopefully that works. Hopefully it holds. Now I have to watch out for my oil drain right here, because if this drops, it drops right into my oil drain. Let me move my oil drain over so if it drops, it doesn't drop into my oil drain. That would totally suck, fishing this thing out. Okay, so if I spin it counterclockwise, it puts tension onto that little gear. Oops. So if I spin the basket counterclockwise, it'll put tension here, so it will hold this this gear mesher right there, right? Okay, so sorry for this nub right here. This is that's the whatchamacallit, right here. That's the foot peg. Okay, so now I could do this. I could probably only spin, I'm gonna say like a quarter at a time, quarter of a turn at a time, so that way it doesn't put extra stress. So it's actually not hard at all. Wow, that was really soft. That's hardly anything. That was felt like less than 10 foot-pounds. Yeah, that's probably only like maybe 7 foot-pounds. So that's hardly any pressure on there at all. Wow, I thought it was gonna be harder than that. So just go around, so do say a quarter turn at a time. Yeah, I was very surprised. I thought it was going to be much harder than that. So this will preserve my basket, my clutch basket. I don't even know what the thing is called. The clutch basket retainer, I guess, whatever, spring retainer. Obviously, it's not the clutch basket. The clutch basket is on the outside. basically I'm turning about a quarter turn each time, so that way everything stays under the same amount of tension. So that as you go towards the end where the thing's gonna fall off or the bolt's gonna fall off, good idea to put your hand there so that way it doesn't just strain the basket retainer or the spring retainer, and it just doesn't just go flying on you. Let's see, let's do my best. So that was hardly any pressure at all. Taking it off, I was really surprised. I was expecting a lot more pressure. Oops. It's gonna be kind of awkward here with my hands, where my hands are. That's better. The previous position was not ergonomical. Obviously my hand's not going to be able to hold all 6 springs, but hopefully by the time it's pretty much off, there won't be that much pressure pushing out anymore anyways. At least that's the hope. Whether that is true or not, it's a different story. So you gotta definitely be patient if you don't want to break this spring retainer. This one I'm kind of surprised that there's only 3 and not 6 bolts. It might be a little bit better using 6 bolts. You know, who knows? I think there's not much tension. There's not much spring tension anymore. I don't think. I don't feel it. Yeah, I don't feel it anymore. So I think I could take my hand off of that. Yep. There's no more spring tension, or not much. There still is a little bit, but it's pretty much gone now. Yeah. Okay, so that's the safe way of taking off the spring retainer basket here. Putting it on, this is going to be the opposite. You know, you go a little bit at a time. You know, quarter. It's good to go a quarter turn at a time. So that one's off. This one's off. This one's still on there. That one's off. Okay. So there it is. That's your spring retainer basket there. Right, that's obviously the bearing on there. And your 6 springs, then your you know, basket itself. So let's remove those 6 springs. Oh shit! Don't chop in the oil bath there. I just have to dig it out. So there's that. So this right here. Use basically the same tool again, but on the other side. So previously, I used the big end on this side. So this side here, I need to use the small end, like so. And this one, there's no clearance issue. I don't even have to use this tool over here. I can actually use the other tool, and it should work just as well. With that, to take this off, to take the basket out. And it's still, obviously it's still stuck in there because of this nut here. So you still can't take this thing off right here. It's still stuck in there. Ooh, that's a sharp edge. Very sharp edge right here. So this thing is also stamped as well. So anything that's stamped, the edge is always razor sharp. So be mindful of that. I can feel that, man. Ooh, that feels razor sharp. Okay, so that's taking out the spring, or the spring basket, whatever they, I don't even know what that part's called, but whatever it's called. So I need to take out this side. So I'm gonna do the same thing like I did before. Use that extension. Use the extension and go in here. And I have my little, remember my little tool that I have to mesh, so that to wedge it so that way this doesn't spin. All right. So actually, I think I'm gonna go from the downside again, like I did last time. So let's go from this side, this angle. It was easier this time instead of lifting up the bike. Because if the wrench is on this side here, you have to lift up the bike. But if your wrench is on this side, you're pushing down on the bike. Okay, make sure my mesh thing is in here properly. Okay, it's in there properly, it's lined up right. This thing needs to be in here right. Oh, you know what? This thing spins. So this, so that's the it's the clutch, right? So here, man, I have to use a. Damn it! I have to use an impact because this thing spins. I totally forgot about that. Because right now the clutch is not engaged. Because when the clutch is pushed in, that's when it's engaged. But right now it's not engaged, so it's. So yeah, so I think I do have to use an impact. There's no way of holding that unless I put it in gear. Let me put it in gear actually, because right now it's in neutral. Put this thing in gear. Put it in gear, see if it still spins. Shouldn't spin anymore. There it goes. Okay. Okay, now it's in gear. I could turn it down now, I think. See my wedge piece in here, still wedged in there. Okay, still wedged in there. Alright, I should be good now. See if the clutch slips or not. The clutch might slip. Ah, you know what? What's happening? The it's moving the wheel. It's spinning the wheel. I might have to engage the brakes. So let me put my foot part back on here. Because I had, you have to take off this. You have to take this off or move this out of the way to clear the cover. So I gotta put this back in. Jeez, it's like a whole process here. There's my bit. Okay, there's one bit. There's the other bit. Okay, here we go. So obviously I don't have to tighten this down. I just need to. Oops. Need to get it so that way the brake doesn't move. The brake lever doesn't move on me. So I'm doing this right now. Okay, so I don't need to tighten that down. I just need to prevent it from moving. Okay, so now let's try that again. This time I'm gonna have to stick my foot on here to activate the brake. So you guys won't be able to see. Let me see. Let me try it this way. Hopefully that works. So you guys can see. So here I am with this. It's gonna be pushing down. I'm gonna have to activate the brake right here. Push down on that. Now if I could use my impact wrench, I probably wouldn't have to do this. Let's see if this works. Oh man, it's not gonna work. I think I have to use my impact wrench. Oh shoot. Nope, it's not gonna work. Okay, so that did not work. Alright. impact wrench it is. Let me take this thing off again. It's kind of in my way. Remove this thing again. So yep, I guess you do have to use an impact wrench after all. That's kind of a bummer. I guess the folks that do this, you guys have to get an impact wrench if you don't have one. Yeah, because there's really no way of holding that, right? There's no way of there's no way of holding this without it spinning. Maybe if you had two people and the second person will hold both the front brake and the rear brake, but you know, I'm by myself, so even with just the rear brake, it seems like it wasn't enough. The bike was still moving. So yeah, so I'm gonna get my impact out then. Okay, let's stay tuned for second part of this one.